Hey everyone, and welcome back to Canadian Coin Addict. Today we're hunting 2 full boxes of nickels, and we're going to do a little battle against each other, so we'll see which one's the better box. Let's go take a look. That's right, today we have 2 full boxes of nickels. And I thought it'd be fun, since we have the two, to do a little competition against each other. I have a little spreadsheet set up here. So just for some points, anything in the 30s, which is very hard to find, will be 20 points. Anything in the 40s or below will be 10 points. 50s or below, 5 points. Foreigns will be 1 point. And any kind of special variety will be 25 points. So we'll see how many of those we get. Other than that, we still have our regular rolls to fill. So we've got some here. And of course the ones we've already filled. We've got our albums, our laptop, and our scope ready to go. So let's get into all of these rolls and see how we do. There's the first box. Now, if you haven't been following along, we actually started this series with $300 worth of toonies and worked our way down to what is now $200 worth of nickels. I'll post a link up above so you can see the first video in this series, and maybe then you'll be able to watch some of the other ones as well until we get here. Now we have 2 boxes of nickels left, and this is the first one. Let's get into it. Alright, a quick first look at all of them, and it looks like we have many different rolls here. Even some that are machine wrapped. And I always worry about these having nothing older in there than 2001. But so far, looks like a good variety, so it could be a good box. Roll number 1, here we go. Alright, so the first roll, we'll start with 1 point for a foreign, and this is a US 2015 out of Philadelphia. Roll number 2, and we've got 2 finds, and the first one is a 1962, and that's a young head. And because I like the young heads and I think they're kind of different and cool, I'm going to change the scoring a little bit. So we've decided to do 64 and below. So 1964 is of course the last year of the young head. So I'm going to say 5 points for 64 and below. And you know what? I'm going to add 67 as well. 67 of course is the rabbit nickel, and that's kind of a cool find as well. So we'll make the 64 and below 5 points, and a 67 is also worth 5 points. Other than that, we have an American here, and this time a 2011 out of Philadelphia. Roll number 3, and we have another US, a 1991 out of Philadelphia. And after about 10 of these US ones, I'll stop filming them and I'll show you at the end of the video how many we got. Otherwise, it's going to be a long video. Roll number 5, and we've got 1 Canadian, a 1964 young head, so that's 5 points right there. And then a US 1990 out of Denver, and a 2012 out of Denver. Roll number 7, and we've got 5 finds here. For the Canadians, we have a 1963 young head. We have also a 1996 Far 6. Now, this is not going to score any points, but I still need one of these for my rolls, so I'll definitely take it. And then the US ones, we have a 1964, and that one's out of Philly. 2000 Denver, and a 2016 out of Philadelphia. Roll number 9, and we've got another 1996 Far 6 here, and I'll show you under the scope kind of what I'm talking about when I mean Far 6. So the 1996 Far 6, you can see between the 6 and the D, there's quite a bit of space, and just for comparison, I've got a near 6 as well. So I'm going to show you that. The near 6, see how it's quite a bit closer to the D. So that one's a near 6. The one I just found a little bit further away, that's a far 6. And then of course there's the attached 6, which I have one of, but we haven't found lately yet. So fingers crossed that we find that variety. Roll number 10 is going to have our 9th US nickel. This one is an 83 out of Philadelphia. Roll 11, another young head, a 1961 for another 5 points. Well, I had a feeling that those machine wrapped rolls were not going to be very good. They didn't have any finds, so we are on roll 18 now. And we do have a nice find here, a 1953. And of course there's many varieties with the 1953. As you can probably tell, this is a chrome finished one. So that eliminates 3 of the varieties. And when we look under the scope, we can see that the eye does go out a little bit on the edges there. So that makes me believe that this is a NSF or no shoulder fold. And even though it's quite dirty on the other side, that looks like the leaf is quite far away from the denticles. I know it's a little bit dark, but I'm going to say that is a far leaf with no shoulder fold, which is one we still need for our rolls. Roll 19, and after getting the oldest of the box, we've got a new oldest of the box. This one is a 1950 with King George VI on the back. So still in the 50s, so still worth 5 points, but definitely a nice find. Roll 22, and we've got our last US that I'm going to show you. That's a 1977, and it's, I believe, yeah, out of Philadelphia. Roll 23, and we have another young head here, 1961. So that's another 5 point. Roll 33, and we ended up with a dime. 2005. So I guess we made 5 cents. That's okay. Roll 36, a 1962 young head. Roll 38, a 1960. Well guys, the end of that box ended up being cold as ice. Luckily though, we did get some finds, and we got some US nickels here and our Canadians. So I'm gonna plug in the numbers and see how we did. Okay, so taking a look at box number 1, we ended up getting 0 in the 30s or below, 0 in the 40s or below. Although I do have to mention, we did get a 1946 US nickel out of Denver, but I won't count that towards our Canadian finds. Then for the 50s or below, or what I changed into 64 and below, as well as the 67, we ended up with 45 points, so 9 nickels in total. And then we have 24 points for 24 US nickels. So a total of 69 points for box 1. And of course, we also ended up with that dime, so that's kind of a unique find. And our oldest, which I still like the best, is this 1950 with King George VI. So that's my favorite find of the box, I would have to say. And let's see what we can do with box number 2. Alright, so no updated rolls from the last box, but let's get into the second box here. And it already looks like there's a good amount of variety in the rolls, so lots of chances for goodies, and we'll see if they beat the 69 points we got in the first box. Well, it looks like we're gonna have an entire roll of 1969s. I already checked the ends, and clearly that's a 1969 there. So I don't think I'll open these rolls because there's actually a few more, and as I checked along, there was 3 more rolls that are marked like this. So clearly a collection dump of some sort. There's 1968. And there's actually another 1968. It's hard to see, but it is there. And then the one that's actually gonna win this box already is an entire roll, at least I think it's an entire roll, of 1963s. And obviously those are all young heads, so maybe I'll open these with you and then we'll be able to see what is actually in it. Just had to grab a knife in order to get the tape off, and now we can open it. And as I'm looking around, yeah, these are all 1963s. So I might take a look at those later again and look for some varieties in there or anything like that, but these are all 1963s, which means we have actually just an entire roll of these, and that would be 40 times 5 points. So already 200 points on the board, just like that, and we know which one is going to be the winner of this battle. But at least we got a lot of 1963s, and I'm always happy about that. After taking another look, there was actually one 1968 in there, so I'm gonna have to take 5 points off. So we're at 195 so far. Roll number 6, and we get a couple more 5-pointers. A 1960 this time, as well as a 1962. Roll number 15, and it's been a few rolls since a find, but we have a dime in this box as well. So a 2001 volunteer dime. And yeah, I guess the second box didn't want to go without one. 16, and we have another 1996, and I've already looked at it, and this is also the Far 6. Roll 18, and I always kind of keep these aside because they're a little bit tougher to find. A 1991, which is a much lower mintage than some of the other years. The very next roll, and we've got our oldest find of the day, the 1941, and that's King George VI again. So that coin alone will score us 10 points. That's a pretty good coin, I'd say. Roll 21, and we've got ourselves a 1964. Not the extra water line, but still 5 points. Very next roll, and I don't know if you could see it, guys, but that is a 1941 Ender. I haven't even opened the roll yet, so we know that's in there at least. And again, that matches our oldest find of the box. Let's see if there's any others in there. Nothing else in there, but 10 points nonetheless. Roll 36, and we've got two 1961s, 1963, and two 1964s. This one's very nice. No extra water line, but it's nice to find some shiny examples. Also, we have 5 US nickels so far. Roll 38, and this has to be by far the best roll of the 2 boxes so far, and the best roll I've had in a long time. I can't believe it, but we got 2 1938s. Beautiful. Here's another one. King George VI. And the first King George VI coins were in 1937, so they're pretty old. Then we got a 1939. Also King George. I never find these. The 1938s, I don't even have a roll set up for yet because I haven't found one. A 1946. Also King George, so that's 4 King Georges. And then we have this gorgeous 1953. It is a chrome finish. and it is a no shoulder fold with the far leaf, but also a beauty. And then a 1960 to top it all off. Lots of points here. I'm not gonna add them up until the end, but I'm very, very, very happy with that. Roll 41, a 1963. Roll number 45 of the second box, and we've got another 1964. Roll 43 of box number 2, and we have a 1961. Second last roll of the hunt, and we have one more 1964 here. And that brings us down to our very last roll of the hunt and of the 2 boxes. Let's see if there's anything left in there. Unfortunately, there wasn't any finds in that last roll, but let's take a look at the numbers and see how we did. Okay, so after taking a look at the score for the second box, we've got 3 that were in the 30s, the 238s and the 139 for 60 points. Then we also have 3 in the 40s for 30 points. And we ended up having a whole bunch, I think 53 total from the 1964 or older. So that's 265 points. That roll definitely helped. Then we have 15 foreigns and no varieties. So we're gonna add it all up. I would say that's definitely better than 69. And even without that amazing roll that we had, we would have still beaten the first box by a long shot. I'm gonna update my rolls and hopefully we'll fill one, although I'm not sure, but still very happy with the finds we have. So I didn't fill any rolls, but I came pretty close to some of them, and I was able to add a roll, so that makes me pretty happy. 2 coins for the 1938, so those are awesome finds, and I can't believe we were able to find that. That was fun. And so let's just fill this roll now. It'll take a while, but I need 38 more. Alright guys, well it took some time to get through those boxes, but we finally did it, and we had some amazing finds along the way. I was very happy with them, especially those in the 30s, and just how many King George VI we were actually able to find. I hope you enjoyed this hunt, and if you like this video, please give it a big thumbs up. And if you want to subscribe to my channel, Canadian Coin Addict, please do so. I really appreciate it. Also, if you want any notifications on new videos that I post, please click the notification bell. And if you have any comments or questions or any suggestions for future videos, please click down below. For now, I wish you guys the best of luck with your own hunts and your own collections, and we'll see you next time.